Hey, very good afternoon and welcome once again to another Blackpool Pleasure Beach Resort. I'm actually going to say it this time, resort update. It is the 30th of March on a very sunny but windy day here in Blackpool. Crowd levels, as always, here in the north end of the park, the entrance area, are very quiet. As always, as I say, it is pretty windy, so I'm not too sure if the big one is on or not today. I'm sure we'll see it when we get further down into the southern end of the park, but we're going to have another quick look to see what changes have happened. There's been a few, but I don't think there's been an awful lot compared to last Sunday. So we're going to start with Launchpad and work our way down to the big one down that end, see if anything down that way has changed in the last week or so, because since last weekend it was technically like the big announcement. Various new rides and changes happening at the park, such as that interim gyro swing. I'm not going to be talking about that or going down to the area today because there's been no developments that I can see visually from ground level from the area. Nothing has changed. The river caves, not going to be showing that today either, and not a lot has changed with the Grand Prix either. So it's mainly going to be looking at the change of a Launchpad, with that being the new attraction for this year, and working my way down to the big one and where the Golden Gallopers used to be. So yeah, let's crack on with this update here from the Pleasure Beach. So Launchpad, the brand new attraction for this year, formerly the Ice Blast attraction here, the S&S Shot Tower. Back from February half term, where they started taking the scaffolding down and placing the topper back at the top of the tower, they have slowly been taking the scaffolding down and down towards ground level, and we're just left with this little small section now. If you've seen the YouTube short from earlier in the week, I think it was Wednesday I put that on, I did mention that the crews were still taking it down, and I will be very surprised to see if it's done by the Friday, if not early Monday. So yeah, it's definitely going to be the Monday when they finish this. It's only this little small section here that you can see. So yeah, the crews will be back in first thing Monday morning and taking it all down Monday, and I would imagine probably later in the week when it is down, the gondola will be reattached, and maybe the 4 cables reattached as well onto the tower. I'm not expecting testing to happen quite so soon yet, but yeah, the scaffolding hopefully be down Monday, and then later in the week the actual ride gondola will be reattached on there as well, and just getting everything reattached for testing to commence whenever that does take place. There is going to be a Pleasure Beach fan club event taking place some point in May, I believe. So maybe that's going to be an indication as to when this ride is going to be open. Some point early May, maybe May bank holiday, this ride is going to be open, if they're hoping to do the fan club event sort of mid-May time. But yeah, Launchpad here with this brilliant new colour scheme. This is the current state of it, with just that small section of scaffolding just remaining on the bottom. So apart from the scaffolding coming down here on Launchpad, there has been some very small, and I do mean small, changes in the past week. The camera towers here, I don't know if I actually mentioned it last week or not, the camera towers here, there's 4 all the way around, so there's another 2 there, and there's another one on top of the building there. They have repainted the photo towers just to make it look a bit more fresher. And all the flag poles that you can see, like there's one here without a flag on, they have also painted them up as well, just to get it looking a bit fresher for when the ride opened, presumably for May bank holiday. As I said in the previous clip, with that fan club being mid-May, it makes sense to maybe get the ride open for the first May bank holiday. I was maybe hoping for Easter, but I think Easter's too close now to get this down, get testing commenced. So yeah, let's get it open for May bank holiday, which I'm pretty sure the park is hoping for, because normally when a new ride opens here at Pleasure Beach, back with Skyforce and I believe Icon as well, they did open in May. So yeah, let's get this ride back open for May, and hearing the air and the pressure of the sounds, hearing again in the North Park. It's been pretty lacklustre here in the North End, really. You come into the park in this past year or so, and you'd see obviously Ice Blast back as it was, all shut up before it had all the scaffolding up, and obviously now we know it's been redone into Launchpad. You'd have the Grand National like this year being closed at the minute for the extended essential maintenance. I've like a little tongue twister that's currently closed over there, so that's not helping with sort of ride availability around here. You've got the flying machines open, but only when it's not windy, and then you have Valhalla over there does open, but only at 2 o'clock in the afternoon currently. Maybe that will change when we do have longer park operations, because at the minute it is weekends only at 11 AM till 5 PM. But yeah, hopefully when the park does open longer and open more frequently, we might see Valhalla open a little bit earlier in the day than 2 o'clock. But at the minute, it does seem pretty, I wouldn't say depressing, but a little bit lacklustre down here with the amount of rides that are closed down here. As I say, you've got the River Cave shut further down that way as well, haven't you? So you've got sort of 3 rides currently at the minute in this area closed. Obviously we're not expecting River Caves to be back open this year, so maybe 2027 for the River Caves, but at least down that way for next year you'll have that new interim gyro swing, which will change the skyline and this view here very dramatically. So where you have that return hill there for the big one is where you'll see a massive interim gyro swing just there. So yeah, hopefully the next few years, next 5 years or so, it's going to be a brighter outlook here at the park. So I'm over here now by the Grand National, and I'm not too sure how long ago this has actually happened, but they have painted some of the red railings here on the attraction just by the end of the ride at the winning post there, where you come back out from the bridge. As I say, they've just painted the red handrails here, not the track or anything, or the support, so they're still looking a bit worse to wear at the minute. Hopefully they'll paint them fresh white like I did with Big Dipper for its 100th birthday, but at the minute the red railings here are looking nice and fresh, along with the area here. They've painted the walls fresh white colour as well. You can see the lift hill the other side of the walkway over there, that's had no paint or anything applied onto that. Yeah, hopefully it will do. Just paint a little bit, as you can see from inside the park, so the lift hill and that first turn up there, and obviously the return bunny hills on the other side before it pops back out here into the station. I wouldn't expect the whole ride to be painted because it is hidden behind Valhalla's blue show building there. So yeah, just paint the sections you can see from inside the park. But the minute from these views here of the Grand National, it's looking nice with its fresh red paint on the handrails and a little tidy up in the area here as well. So just a little Grand National update for you at the minute. The trains are still not here, the trains are still all in the car park, all 4 of them. So yeah, the station has had no visual work that I can clearly see. There's a few cables and stuff like that lying around, but I'm not entirely sure what they're for. But apart from the paint up they've done, a little paint up, that's all I can really see for the Grand National changes. Right, so as predicted, the big one is closed unfortunately for the strong winds up there today. I mean, you can feel the odd gust on ground level, but obviously it's more what's happening up there over 200 feet tall. So yeah, the big one is sadly closed. I was just speaking to the member of staff who was just positioned at the entrance. They have all gone home, by the way. The staff have just gone home, and they said they sent about 2 or 3 cycles, test runs around, and yeah, it was apparently painfully slow. Apparently it only just made it back to the station with it crawling all the way around. So yeah, I'm quite surprised they'd actually send it. Maybe they were trying to get it open, but yeah, it was just too slow today to open this one. So yeah, it's always a sad sight seeing the big one closed, but there's nothing you can do with the wind. The park can't control it, and of course it's a safety thing, because if they do send the train loaded with gas and it rolls back, then you've got to do evacuation somewhere around the layout. So yeah, no big one today here for the Pleasure Beach because of the wind, but I will show you, because they have actually done some work with the big one during the week with the old Pepsi Max cans. Now, the ride used to be sponsored by Pepsi Max. It used to be called the Pepsi Max Big One. Then many years ago, the Pepsi Max sponsorship dropped, and it was happily known as the Big One, or just Big One, as it says there on the sign. But the Pepsi Max cans stayed, even though it wasn't sponsored by it. But now, 2025, March 2025, they have completely redone the cans, and well, I'll show you it first so you can have a good look at them, but I'm on the fence with it at the minute. I'm not too sure whether I like it or whether I'm like, what the hell, and they've totally ruined it. But yeah, I'll show you the cans now in the next shot from the big one. So there you go, there are the brand new Pepsi Max cans, or what was the Pepsi Max cans. So you can see, kind of see, sorry about the sun glare, I'll try and get different angles of it from the other side of the old carousel building. It says on that side, big one, Pleasure Beach Resort, and then it says on this side, the hyper coaster with altitude. I don't really know what they're intending to mean there with altitude, because doesn't every hyper coaster have altitude? They're all over 200 feet, so they've all got altitude. I mean, I don't understand what they mean there. I mean, they could put something maybe like the original hyper for the UK, I don't know, because it was obviously here long before Hyperia came and took the record, but I don't really know what they mean there with the hyper coaster with altitude. I mean, as I say, I'm on the fence of it. I don't mind that can, with it having the Rise logo and the name and all that, but I don't understand what they mean with this slogan on this side, the hyper coaster with altitude. I mean, are they trying to make people think it says attitude? But even still, it's not an angry ride, it's not an aggressive ride. I mean, it's slightly bumpy here and there, but it's nothing to be having an attitude with. But yeah, the hyper coaster with altitude. As I say, I'll let you comment what you think about this makeover with the cans, but they did it in the week, that's all I know. They did come in, and I don't know whether the old Pepsi Max vinyls are under there, and they've stuck this over the top, because you can kind of see there where it says the hyper coaster how there's like air bubbles and stuff, so it's not been properly applied onto the cans, the actual structure. There was air bubbles all the way across the thing, like the tunnel, but I would have been happy with it just being black and white, because on the inside of the can it is black and white, or even just to have the colours of the actual ride itself, red, white and blue. But yeah, I'm not understanding what they mean there by the hyper coaster with altitude, because every hyper coaster has it, as I say. So yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. I mean, there's nothing we can all do. I mean, they had to get rid of the Pepsi Max cans at some point, because the Pepsi sponsorship did end various years ago. But yeah, this is the current look now. It's the big one cans, so there you go, I guess. So here's a look then at the old Pepsi Max cans here on the big one from this side, without the annoying sun glare you saw from the last clip. As I say, I don't mind this vinyl so much. It's just the other one there where it says altitude. I just don't understand what it's trying to apply, what it's intending to do, because as I said in the last clip, all hypercoasters, any ride over 200 feet has altitude. I mean, Rev behind it has altitude. I mean, I know it's not a hypercoaster, but it's about 50-60 feet off the ground. That has altitude. I mean, as I said, I don't really understand what they're meaning by this, but yeah, I don't mind this one, just not the other one here from the old Pepsi Max cans. So just on from the cans then, I did mention it last week, we did see the removal of the old Golden Gallopers Carousel. Nothing has changed with the building, it's still here, nothing's changed with inside the building. We've still got presumably the organ in there and the ground where the carousel once sat. So just up here on Revolution's queue line, we've got an overview here at the south end of the park, with obviously the big one being closed to wind, the Golden Gallopers missing and sold off, and Skyforce in the background there closed all year. It does mean you do only have the steeplechase when that's operational, open, and the Revolution, which I've stood on, open as well for this end of the park. I mean, you do have Icon over there as well, but that's a little bit more central area behind the station building over there. So yeah, you do need to get some more rides down here open and put in over the years, because with Skyforce and the carousel shut, you've only got really 2 operational rides still going in this end of the park. And yeah, I don't know if you can see it from this angle, because I think the sun glare is pretty strong again, but there are those remodelled cans there for the big one. So sadly it's come towards the end of this shorter Pleasure Beach update today. I said I wasn't going to be filming a lot today because there's not sadly been that many changes since the last one. We showed the latest developments with Launchpad, how there's just that little bit of scaffolding left to removed. I went down to the big ones to have a bit of discussion on the cans, where they've been remodelled from Pepsi Max into the current state of them now. And also had a brief look over at the latest changes happening with the Grand National, with them fresh coats of paint being applied to the red handrails. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this update here from Pleasure Beach, as I say, apologies a bit on the shorter side, but that's just the way it goes sometimes, I'm afraid. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on any more up-to-date Pleasure Beach content, and I'll see you all again for another video. See you soon.